Well, social media videos of people making their own sunscreen have exploded online, and they led to warnings from experts and even Health Canada.
Yeah, this is just one example here. Dr. Julia Carroll is a Board Certified Dermatologist and is firmly in the camp of don't try this at home. Dr. Carroll joins us live via FaceTime this morning. Dr. Carroll, really appreciate this. Is it that these homemade recipes don't work, or is it just risky if it's done wrong? What's the distinction here?
I mean, it could be either. For me, this is the equivalent of saying, you know, I think I'm going to make my own bike helmet or maybe create my own seatbelt. These are things that are highly regulated, and sunscreen is a drug, goes under a lot of testing, and there's just no reliable way to make it at home.
So what can go wrong here if someone is trying to make their own sunscreen at home?
So a couple of things can go wrong. I think the number one thing is that it's just not going to work. So then that person is susceptible to sunburns, which increases their risk of skin cancer. The other thing that can happen is a lot of the ingredients that I see these people using can actually not just not help you to protect yourself, but they can actually make it worse. And then so you get more sun exposure. And then there's a lot of natural ingredients in here that when mixed with sun can create these photoallergic reactions that can give you severe burns.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt, doctor, that sunscreen, I mean, arguably is not necessarily the cheapest thing necessarily. So some people might be thinking, okay, maybe I can save some money, or, you know, they're trying to control the ingredients. But what about the ingredients specifically? Are there commercially tested products available that people could sort of mix up in their kitchen to get any kind of protection?
No, no way, not at all. It's like saying I'm going to make my own like blood pressure medicine at home. It is a drug. It's regulated. It has a drug identification number on it. It's not for amateurs to be concocting at home.
Can we talk about some of the ingredients that are in sunscreen? Because this is what we are seeing on social media. People saying, oh, some of the ingredients aren't good for you or your skin or you're ingesting it. Is there any truth to that?
There's no truth to that. So these products have been studied over and over and over again for many years. The products that are available in Canada are completely safe. They do fall into two categories. So you have chemical sunscreens and physical sunscreens. And some of my favorites, like this one right here, it actually has a mix. And that's my favorite to get a broad spectrum. But if someone's worried about sunscreens, there's a couple things you can do. You can choose just a physical blocker, so one that has zinc and titanium, but commercially available. And then there's lots of other ways to protect yourself. Sunglasses, a big brimmed hat, and just choosing to do your activities between the outside of the peak hours, so outside of 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., when you want to do your outdoor activities.
Yeah. Doctor, I'm curious about exactly how dangerous, you know, this really can be. I'm sure you've encountered patients who've maybe come up with their own homemade solutions. What have you seen in your practice?
Well, I have to say that my patients are very good listeners, so I haven't seen a lot within my patients, but I certainly have seen on social media people with severe blistering sunburns. And we know from the stats that if you have one bad sunburn, particularly before the age of 18, it doubles your risk of melanoma. And melanoma is a skin cancer that can kill you.
All right. Well, Dr. Carroll, thank you for taking the time to speak with us on this. It's such an important topic, and we are seeing a lot of it, a lot of chatter on this on social media. So thanks for sharing your information.
Appreciate this,
My
Doctor.
pleasure.
Okay, and we're back with more CB24 Breakfast coming up right after this.